Hey, how you guys doing? It's me once again, Fool 83 from the MR2 boards. This is my MR2, and right now it's 2:19 in the morning, and I'm showing you my air to water setup. I just finished. This is the car, 91 MR2 turbo. Anyway, this is my front mount heat exchanger. It's a fluidine heat exchanger. It's the upgrade for the A2 A3 Mustang Cobras. Nice thick little core and all. Temporarily, I have like just little hoses and all just to hold water through. I'm gonna eventually change to dash 10. I'm gonna have dash 10 fittings welded on and do dash 10 fittings so it look pretty and be more reliable. Then again, I trust metal more than I trust rubber, but hey, until then, that's what I'm gonna stick with right now. Again, this is the MR2. This is the air to water heat exchange. This is the air to water core right here itself. Nice T78 turbo from Grady. Anyway, I have it set up as obviously here's the core. I bought myself an external filler neck to fill up the whole system. I'd rather fill it from here than the core than the reservoir itself, mainly because I wanted this to be the high point in the system. And I changed over to this reservoir over the other one that I had because the other one wouldn't work because of my water pump. The water pump I have is I actually have a low pressure water pump. It's not the type that pulls water through and pushes it out. It's the type that just pushes water out. So basically, the system would have to be full in order for it to work properly. Otherwise, if the system wasn't full, then the water pump wouldn't pump any water, even if the water was just sitting at below the pump itself. So I ended up having a huge air pocket. So I ended up taking a water hose and I took this fitting off, and I pretty much forced water all the way through the system until I cleared all the air out until it was filled with water. And once that happened, then the water pump will work properly. Anyway, let me turn it on and show you. My car, my Goofy Keith wire tuck 101. That's another subject. Here you go. I'm not turning on the car. I'm just turning on the accessories because that's how I have the water pump hooked to a relay to turn it on when I turn the car on, or at least on the accessories. I'm gonna gauge this. I gotta reground that one to make sure it works. Anyway, back to the water pump. Real silent in operation. I actually like that. The fact that it's really silent. As you can see, unfortunately, this is on my camera phone, so the quality may not be that high. But anyway, if you can hear it, the water pump is forcing water through the reservoir, going through this line right here. As you can see, the water flowing, going into the intercooler, and this is where it enters the intercooler, and this is where it goes. This is where it exits. Goes down from under the car all the way to the front where the heat exchanger is, where we cool the water down after hitting the core. If you can hear it, see, I had it going from the low point of the core to the high point of the core because I kind of wanted to use that as a bleed point also. I'd rather, right? And going from here, which you can hear, to under where this is the other line. I decided to use see-through line so I can see the water going through it. Sorry for my camera skills. It's not all that great, but hey, I'm showing you something. This is a low pressure pump, so obviously operation is very silent. You can barely hear it, which in a sense I think that's a good thing. Goes through here, travels through this line right here, and goes under all the factory rubber, plastic stuff to that protects your car from rock chips and all that crap, I guess. All the way back up to the reservoir. But overall, again, if you can see it, it's a crappy camera phone. Sorry. See. See what's up. One thing I did, which was kind of half-ass backwards, was that I have the water coming in from under the core and exiting from the top. I mean, normally with the air to water setup, it's actually supposed to go into the top and exit from the bottom. But being that I had space constraints in this car and I couldn't really lift this bottom piece, I couldn't get this high enough where I could have it exiting right there and have this entering right here because, like I say, space constraints. I just decided to do it a little backwards and all. But either way, it works. Gets the water through. Well, it gets the water from the heat exchanger up front to the tank right here, which once it hits the heat exchanger cools it off. Then you got cold water in the tank, and then the cold water from the tank goes to the intercooler to, keep the blast from this huge turbo down to a bare minimum, Basically, massive intercooler efficiency. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. But yeah, basically all I'm showing is just, the electrical part working and blah, 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 yak, yak, yak. I'm running my mouth too much. That's all. Pool 83 out.